Let me tell you a story about my very first sermon. I was 18 years old and I was in rural Missouri, and I just begun to do ministry. And so my local pastor said, well, if you're going to be a preacher, you ought to preach. And so my little church, Pilgrim's Rest Baptist Church in Ware, Missouri, I stood up one Sunday in January 1980 to preach my first sermon on Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 and 16. That's the salt and light text. Now, I felt comfortable preaching because I'd been engaged in speech a lot during high school. But I don't remember anything that I said that day. I hope I was honest and helpful and shared the gospel with people. I'm sure it did. But what I remember after that first sermon of just 20 minutes was as I was talking to people after the sermon, Mrs. Stone came up to me. She was a long retired school teacher in the community. She came up to me and she did the double handshake. You know what that is, don't you? Where they shake your hand and put a hand over top and hang on until they're done saying what they need to say to you. Anyway, Mrs. Stone looked at me and she said, Brother Darrell, don't worry. You'll do better next time. And it was one of the best things anyone has ever told me about preaching. And every time I've preached since then, I always think I can do better next time. What story do you have about the first time you preached? How about you send it to us, and we'll be glad to share it with others.